What is unethical as but extremely common in the dating world? Lying about whether or not you are clean, STD/ST free, and sleeping with them anyway. This is the scariest one emo. I imagine in about 80 years we'll have instant readout tests, so PPL can jab a finger and prove they're clean before they bump uglies. Edit, yikes. And maybe in about 81 years we'll have a Gattaca situation with fake fingertips of clean blood. Breadcrumbing. You meet someone, aren't exactly interested, but want a backup option. If you just ghost them or reject them, then they won't be around anymore. So instead, you leave a trail of breadcrumbs to keep them hanging. What does that look like? Oh, I'm really busy right now, I'll give you a call later. That, and making plans, but always cancelling at the last minute. It gives the illusion of them being interested, while not actually having to be in any sort of real relationship. Lying about your existing relationship status, for instance saying you're single when you're not. I'm coming off of a 2-month, I don't even know what to call it. When we started, I thought she was single. Turns out she had a boyfriend she was in an open relationship with. Wish I'd known that sooner. Edit, I put open relationship in quotes, since I don't even know if it's truly open. She ghosted me a week ago. Going on a break with a serious so to bang someone else and then asking for them back after. I know someone who did this serially for 10 years and had the poor girl convinced that she wasn't good enough for anyone else. Abusive piece of shit. He'd also leave her for long enough to not have to celebrate her birthdays. Using profile pics when you're 5 years younger and 50 pounds lighter doesn't work when you meet someone in real life. You're attempting to start a relationship on a lie. That's never a good thing. Kinda like the people that only post photos of them and the same 2 other people in every photo. Who are you? Making plans for a date and just not showing up. I know what you mean. And by that I mean it has never happened to me because I'm a married old guy, but Craigslist buyers have been no-shows and broken my heart many times. Lying through your teeth when making a dating profile. People lie about the most random things to make themselves seem more appealing. Lies can range from things as innocuous as I have a dog to shit like my dick is 15 elephants long. Lying about intentions. If you want a one-night stand, say it. Don't lie and say you want a relationship. But I really want a relationship, just not with you. So you get a one-night stand. There's actually a level where I'm attracted physically to a woman, but don't feel the connection enough to think I can see her as a girlfriend. Failure to disclose offspring. I remember going out on a date with a woman, introduced by a co-worker, and I asked if she had kids. She said no. A few weeks later my co-worker commented that my date was out of town with her kids on vacation. I was like, what? Using somebody else's photo as your profile/Tinder/whatever pic in order to attract them to you and make them go on a date with you. Yeah, that is catfishing, which is an extremely common thing sadly. Stealthing. It's when someone has told you they put on a condom, but at some point they take it off and continue having sex without a condom against your consent. It's an awful violating feeling to find out this has happened to you. I had this happen to me while I was also drunk and the man was sober. Even drunk me knew he needed a condom and ended up pregnant and then miscarrying and having to get STD testing and therapy. Made for an awful few months and absolutely should be illegal as fuck. Ghosting. Like, hello, I made you a 4-course meal and decide to not show up. Eats rack of lamb alone using the salt of my tears for dipping sauce. Lying about birth control. Cheating. Not socially acceptable, but still very common. Lying about STDs or STIs. Old ass pics. I'm always amazed how people seem to think they look exactly the same after 5 years or more. Come the fuck on. I literally feel dishonest because 1 out of 6 of my Tinder pictures is from 18 months ago. I don't know why people think it's okay to be like, yes, this picture from 2007 is obviously an accurate depiction of how I look today. Expecting for one person to pay for everything. Funny. Was just dumped about 36 hours ago after she drained my reserves and wanted to be a kept woman with a very part-time job. I don't make enough to cover both rents and her food and care for her cats who are old as dirt and have astronomical vet bills. Yeah, looking back, that whole year was a mistake. Girls telling guys they can't have any female friends and or controlling their time with other friends. I had a woman tell me on the third date that she expected me to give her access to my phone and email accounts so that she could check who I was talking to in order for us to have a relationship. I noped out of that one. Sticking around long enough to have sex, then disappearing. Unfortunately, it should probably also be said that the number of dates needed to learn more about if the person is often around the same number or fewer needed to end up back at someone's place. I started dating someone around a month ago and it's a struggle because they seemed interesting based on stories they told, but turns out they don't actively do much and are pretty overall boring. They can't even hold a text conversation besides asking what are you up to now? Do I wait longer now that we've had sex? Do I bail now that I've realized it's not going to work out? I don't know if there's a right answer, but I usually try to not string people along, so I'm pretty sure we'll have the talk sooner rather than dragging it out. Leading people on even though you have no intentions of dating or even meeting up with that person. You know what? I don't think this happens half as often as people think. I think most of the time you have a message conversation and one of the two decides they don't feel enough interest/connection to want to meet up. That doesn't make it leading somebody on or make somebody a faker. Pretending you don't have an STD or not getting checked in between sexual partners. The very first guy I had sex with had already been with multiple women before me and had never seen a doctor in between. Guess who got herpes? A lifelong disease with an awful and unfair stigma, the same day she lost her virginity? For the rest of my life I'm going to have to tell people, look, I really like you, but it's up to you whether you wanna smash, because I've got herpes and I don't know if technology will ever advance enough to cure me. Also, every time we have sex you're putting your health at risk. I had to do this with my current partner and I thank my lucky stars every day that he tries to stay because he's the best thing that ever happened to me. Imagine if I never got to keep him. When I told the asshole who infected me that I had herpes, he said it couldn't have been him because he'd never shown symptoms before. No shit, genius. Herpes can hide for years after you contract the disease, meaning you probably do have it. He refused to see a doctor. A few weeks later I saw him holding hands with some new girl. Pro tip, never bang on the first date. Get checked every time you have sex with a new partner. Make sure your partners are getting checked too. And if you know someone who has a disease and refuses to fix it, tell a lawyer. It's illegal to get people sick intentionally, and it's perfect payback. A guy sleeping with a girl on the first date and deciding she isn't relationship material based on that fact while still considering himself completely dateable. Edit. Guys who base whether you're relationship material on how quickly you had sex with them and no other factors at all. Some people think they are really a good person as long as no one catches them being shitty. Saying that you're not official and somehow it's okay to hurt the other person. I'm talking about people who string others along over 3+ weeks, sleep with them, talk to them every day, share really personal details, and involve them in some aspect of their daily life or routine. Then pretending it was actually nothing, and that they shouldn't be angry or upset, because it wasn't official. Being controlling and saying I'm just jealous, because I love you. That doesn't mean you get to go through my phone all the time, Karen. Double standards for 3 ways. Met a douche like this when I was 18. Kept trying to pressure me in a 3-way with a girl. Saying 2 girls is hot. Every girl is a little B. The usual. I have a strict policy. I can do FMF, but you gotta be open to MFM. Period. No double standards. No, babe, that's gay. Fine. No FMF. But it's hot. You'll learn to love it. No. I'm fine if a dude says, I'm not into MFM. If you're into FMF without retribution, I'm all for trying it, but I won't force you. But don't go on and on and on about how FMF is hot and MFM is ooh gay. Not getting your boyfriend a birthday present when you have the exact same birthday and making him pay for your dinners and drinks because you spent all your cash on drugs for partying. Making out with their best friend while they are high during your shared birthday when their boyfriend is literally within 30 meters of them. Breaking up you with a text after going to your staff party as a +1 for some free drinks. Coming to your partner's place of work After dumping him to have drinks with your friends, then trying to kiss him on the cheek before you leave. I do not know why I dated this person for so long. Also, none of this is common at all, but I wanted to vent.